Renegade Raider is a mid skin. Now that I can get behind. I didn't even buy the skin when it came back. It's just such a nothing skin that nobody really cares about anymore because it isn't rare. Let's be honest, that's exactly what it was, wasn't it? These are your biggest Fortnite hot takes. We go from things like Chapter 5 Season 3 being underrated to Fortnite just being a bad game in general. We have a lot to get through. These piping hot takes were provided by my very kind, very mentally deranged subscribers. What's that? You're not subscribed? Well, what the hell did you do that for? If you enjoyed today's video, hey, maybe subscribe, maybe use code BigCraigd in the Fortnite item shop, maybe, you know. Also, don't feel bad if your take wasn't in the video. It wasn't in the video because I couldn't make fun of it. So think of it as a good thing. Right. Let's dive into this hellhole. Now, one take I did see a lot of was about Chapter 5 Season 3 being overhated. Or, hell, some people even said it was their favorite season, which... good on you. That's really good to hear. Chapter 5 Season 3, for those of you with dementia, was the car season. Now, saying that, I most likely caused some kind of PTSD response in half of the people watching. Now, this is indeed a very hot take. On Fortnite GG, it is actually currently rated the third worst season of all time, with the only ones being ranked worse were Chapter 4 Season 3 and Chapter 2 Season 6. Also, please don't trust Fortnite GG's community ranking for accurate reviews on seasons. Chapter 5 Season 4 is ranked the 22nd worst season of all time. Chapter 2 Season 7 is ranked 17th. And do you know what's ranked in 9th place? OG Season 2, and we all know ain't nobody playing that shit. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. That comes up later. Chapter 5 Season 3. Honestly, I do believe that this season is very overhated. But hey, I had my complaints with the season too. But for none of the same reasons everyone else had. I didn't care about the cars, they were fine. Everyone said they were OP and ruined the game when, let's be honest, they could have just slowed the fire rate on the turrets by a tiny bit and everyone would have... the problem would have been solved. Other than the Nitro Face and the summer event and the lack of interesting range weapons, I think this was a pretty good season. It definitely didn't help that this season had to carry the burden of the Chapter 5 features. You know, like bullet drop, weapon mods, intensive desaturation, you know, that kind of thing. Overall, I'd say I agree with the opinion that the season is overhated. I'd even agree with the fact that it is a good season. Is it the best season ever? Hell no! Old cars were better than the new ones. Now, I think they're referring to the old cars like the Mud Flap or the OG Bear and stuff like that from Chapter 2 and 3, and also and 4. I don't know why I didn't include 4. And I kind of agree, but I also don't. The Prevalent, I think it was called, was not very useful, man. It was a middle-of-the-range car, and the Whiplash was just so much better, it didn't really have any uses. And while the Mud Flap did have a high damage tolerance, it was so slow and loud, so there wasn't really any point in taking it. And the OG Bear was the only car that I can kind of see a use for, and that's because it worked off-road better than the Whiplash ever did, but that's kind of been made redundant now because of the few variations of off-road tires we've had. And nowadays, the OG Bear and the Whiplash have kind of just merged anyway, they're kind of one car now, which is the one we have in game now. I don't think the old cars were better, they were a lot slower than the ones we have right now. The only thing I do wish for is skins for the old car models that are sold in either a battle pass or the item shop. That would be cool. This guy right here says he likes reskins. Now, unfortunately, I don't know what the hell this guy is talking about because the Fortnite community are a bunch of illiterate fools. Not this guy in particular, I'm sure he can read. But whenever I see a new Jonesy skin come out or something, I always see people going, I'm tired of reskins. Like, this is not a reskin, you idiot. That's Captain Jonesy. What exactly is this a reskin of? What you mean to say is that you would have preferred that they used another model for the skin instead of Jonesy. That's what you mean, you idiot. This is a reskin. This is not a reskin. Get it together. Anyway. I'm sure this guy meant the term reskin literally and not in the ass-backwards way that the Fortnite community seems to believe the term's definition is. They don't do too many reskins anymore, that mostly stopped in Chapter 3, I feel. They've definitely done one or two, like Dark Seared or Stormwild Raven, but most of the reskins are either for starter packs or for certain holidays, which I like. And even when they were releasing a lot of reskins in the item shop, I thought this was cool too. It gives you the option of purchasing a skin that you like with a different color scheme, it's cool. I agree with this take. Planes were the best. Let's just take a step back here and think. Were planes the best? No. The collateral damage assault rifle isn't that good. Alright fella, calm down. Jesus Christ, you're going crazy with this take. I don't think many people are under the impression that the collateral damage AI is one of the best weapons ever added to the game or anything. But personally, I see its uses as an SMG substitute for things like tournaments. It's like a good combat assault rifle. Fortnite Chapter 4 was the best chapter. You can't be serious. Sure, maybe your opinion is valid up until Season 2 ends, but after that, oh my lord, you are pulling my leg, surely. You come into the biggest Chapter 4 haters comment section and you decide that your hot take is going to be that it's good? Yeah, no, that's not what happens. I barely played Chapter 4, and that alone would make it the worst chapter considering I played the shit out of every other chapter ever, but the fact that Chapter 4 Season 3 also exists? Oh. I can't even talk about that season. Next take. The only bad thing about Chapter 4 Season 3 was the high jungle walls and trees. I guess we're talking about that season. Number 1, yes, the high walls were in fact turbo ass. Number 2, they were the only bad thing about that season. Are you serious? The only bad thing? Really? The only bad thing? Not the explosive lever action rifle, which had an incredibly fast fire rate and was really annoying to counter. Not the hit scan mammoth pistol, which did a crap ton of damage when you hit a player. Not the fact that they took a pump shotgun, changed the name, and hailed it as a new weapon. None of that. Just the walls. Brother, I can't even begin to tell you how wrong this take is. I can't even respect your opinion on this one. Who let him cook? Why is he cooking? Why was he in the kitchen to begin with? Don't you ever come in here and tell me that Chapter 4 Season 3 was a good season. You better all be thanking Christ that a video about Chapter 4 Season 3 wouldn't do that well for views, because god damn it, the second I can afford to make another video that won't make me any money, you know damn well that this is going to be a 4-hour long pyrocynical video essay about how Chapter 4 Season 3 is the worst season of all time, and it's the season of reason I developed clinical depression at 16. Okay, should we look at some more? Chapter 5 Season 2 was incredibly underrated. Yes, it was. Until they removed everything that made that season unique and replaced it with Avatar mythics for a month. Epic if you pull that shit again. Zero build is more fun than regular BR. See, this one's dependent. If I get good skill-based matchmaking in builds, then builds are so much more fun. It's when I go up against Benji Fishy every 5 minutes is where the problem starts. And you know your lobby's cooked if they start throwing cones down, like, give it a rest, mate. FaZe aren't gonna hire you. They probably can't afford it. And if I'm in a season where the zero build quality of life features seem to fucking disappear, which is something Epic seems to love doing every other season, then no. Zero build is not more fun. But if it's in a season where zero build works well, like last season, then sure, zero build can be more fun. The beginning of Chapter 1 was really bad. Yes, it was. Remix was better than Chapter 2 Season 2. I will wholeheartedly agree with that, but I will also say that you can't compare them. One was a brand new full-length season which was being worked on during the pandemic and faced several delays, and the other one was a month-long season where every week they would steal content from said season and plop it into the new season. See what I mean? I had a lot more fun with Remix personally, but who knows, maybe after a few more months I would have gotten bored. They aren't comparable. Primal isn't a bad season. Agreed. No further comments. Medallions aren't that OP. Oh brother, tell me about it. One season we'll get a medallion with the name like the Glup Shito medallion that will reveal every enemy within a 300 million mile radius, and then the next season we'll get one that's like, this medallion will let you pick flowers at a slightly faster rate. Some of them are turbo OP and the others are more useless than this channel. Exotics ruin the game. Oh, everyone pack it up. The fun police are here. No fun allowed. What do you mean exotics ruined the game? You mean the unique items with gimmicks that are typically useless yet quite fun that you have to go out of your way for and spend quite a lot of bars to acquire? Yeah, I don't agree. Like the Boom Sniper, the Dub, and the Ice Grappler. Those are the only OP exotics that I can think of off the top of my head. And I swear to God, if anyone even mentions Chapter 4, then I'm going to go ballistic. Fortnite is a bad game with too many nerds. Now, is Fortnite a bad game? No, definitely not. That's why I've made an entire channel dedicated to it. Even in its bad days, it's still an incredible game. And even when I make fun of it or seem really angry, I'm just doing it for entertainment. I couldn't really care less most of the time. But it does have too many nerds. They do need to sort that out. And finally, Chapter 2, Season 2 is overrated. Now, I'm going to come right out of the gate and say, yes, it is. Thank God someone else thinks so. Like, it had excellent theming and it was a classic season, don't get me wrong. Everything they added during that season was pretty good. But best season of all time? Are we being real right now? Are we forgetting about the several delays that made the season go on for twice as long as it should have? Or what about that period for like 3 months where we didn't get any content? Did we all forget about that? Thinking back on it is great and all, but we were so miserable. Although I definitely prefer Chapter 2 Season 2 again over LG Fortnite, I'm just saying. Well, that's it from me. If you enjoyed today's video, then there will be a funny card on the screen right now taking you to a video like this one, but better. And while you're clicking buttons, why don't you subscribe? And hell, why don't you click several more buttons and use code BigCraigd in the item shop? Okay, bye.